Greetings, family. Greetings, greetings. We are
Peace.
here. Oh, peace, man. This feels so right, man. It's
Yep.
beautiful.
Yep.
We're here. We're here. We're sharing some great information. And this is what we're here for. Let's get right into it. On July 11th at Nicholas, Brooklyn, in Crown Heights, Brooklyn, right? That area is called Crown
Right. It's
Heights,
like
right?
Bed-Stuy, Crown
Right.
Heights, Bed-Stuy. Let's
Mm-hmm.
say Bed-Stuy because it's Bed-Stuy.
It's
It's
Best Eye. It's
right
Best
next
Eye.
to Restoration Plaza.
Right next to Restoration Plaza on July 11th from 6 p.m. to 10. We are having Men Who Rise. It's a brotherhood in action. It is sort of a town hall meeting for men. It's a call to all men. It's the horn blowing. It's the village coming together for the men to rise together. So we'll repeat that
Yes.
information at the end of this, man. But let's get right into it, brother.
Yep.
Talk to me. What do you think about this, bro? I know you're going to be one of the main speakers there. You're going to be sharing some knowledge, but let's hear your thoughts on it.
Yeah, this has been a long time coming. Thank you, and it's brother Cameron Simons, LMT, licensed massage therapist, owner, CEO of RMU. That's Axial Release Massage and Energy Works, and I'm stating that to even be going into this conversation because I do work on a lot of men, and when I tell you like everybody's holding on to stuff, but it's like I see very few men on my table. For one thing, and the ones that do come, we're holding on to so much and don't know how to release. And so it's important to me. And you and I, from the time we met, we were having this conversation about really creating spaces for men to come and build the brotherhood and the community together. So, I'm really looking forward to this. And thank you for spearheading this and bringing me on. And, and even with everything I have going on, making sure to pull me by my hey, like, hey, brother, come on. It's time. So thank you, brother. Thank you for being
Of course.
consistent. And even before we go in, I just want to kind of shout you out, give you your flowers in that respect, because there's something to be said about consistency. You know what I'm saying? Especially as a man. And it's like we'll probably go into that when we actually have the event, but consistency, and that consistency to that complements the divine feminine, because we're in the age of divine feminine. We know that's what's going on right now, the rise and the reemergence of the divine feminine. And as you and I have talked about, this is also the time where the divine masculine needs to step up, because that divine feminine needs her counterpart. I'll leave it right there for now.
That's beautiful. It makes me think of the cycles that we go through. The humans that are here, they can see through the history that there has been cycles where humans rise and then they fall to sleep. But they know that at this time, Cameron, we are on the upswing to wake up. We are waking up now. And that's where all the awareness is coming in. You speak about that divine feminine. And yeah, we best to be ready, bro, or else they leave us behind.
Right. Exactly. And all we have to do as men, as the divine masculine, is be who we are. It's like we don't have to try to do anything. We don't have to be up in their faces and doing the peacock dance and hey, look at me. Like, no, just be. Be. Who are you as a
Mm.
man? Speaking to the brothers out there, who are you as a man? How do you show up? What is your character when you're showing up? And that's
What
going
do
to
you,
all go ahead. Uh-huh.
yeah, I was just gonna ask a question that what do you think is the silent crises that men are facing? The silent one?
Who the silent many
Right?
crises,
Yeah.
right? Um, one of them is, and this may sound crazy, but the lack of voice. And it's not voice in the way that we may think, because we say, oh, this is a man's world and everything. Like, this is the world that's created and run by a very few men. But the majority of men don't have the voice in the way of, they're not expressing their emotions. Men don't generally express their emotions. How do you feel? Well, it's a great day. The sun is out, and this is, you know what I mean? I worked hard today. It's like, I said, how do you feel? I'm cool.
Mm.
I'm all right. I'm good. How do you feel? Bro, you know what I'm saying? So it's like that. That's a silent crisis. So men are suffering on the inside because they don't have that voice, or they feel they don't aren't able to use their voice. And even the
Mm,
ones that do use the voice, maybe they're not tapping into their emotional intelligence. So there's
mm,
a big disconnect, I think. And if I could just pinpoint one thing, I would say that's a major one right there.
it makes me think of that quote that says, men live lives of quiet desperation. That's the
Ooh,
quote. You see?
ooh,
Yeah, because men are walking around like, yeah, I want to get it, but it's like they're just told to sit down and stay quiet, right?
right.
So this is what happens when men posture up and take the lead. They go, "Oh, he's chauvinistic. Oh, hey, look at him. He's ego filled and all that. Ah, he think he's the man and all that." But
Right.
when crisis strikes, Cameron, who do they call?
A
Right?
man, for sure.
Firemen, right? All of the life saving, techniques that men come in when a storm hits, flood, disaster, all of that. It's the men. Yeah, women come in too. That's true,
Hmm.
but it's the men that they call on. You see, and then when everything's all cleaned up and all that, then they're asked to go to the back again and stay quiet and take the seat. You
Right.
see, so that for
Right.
me, I feel that that's the silent crisis that they're facing. You know,
Mm.
it's tough.
Yeah, that's real, and I'm glad you even brought that up because again, yes, they say it's a man's world. Okay, cool, but what does that really mean? Again, like most men don't benefit from this so-called man's world, and so I like that right there that you said. I'm gonna think
Mhm.
about that. I'm gonna meditate
Yeah,
on that.
let me just also add that, you know, men are always looked on as leaders, and you have to be some decision making and stuff like that, but the women want that role now, or what has happened, Cam, and you know very well that they've tricked us on this one, bro.
Mm.
With the women equality, if you know the history behind it, it has systematically been put in place to trick people, you see, to
Hmm.
get them to be more workers in the workforce. That's why they did it.
Right.
If you know the campaign about cigarettes, right? Women were like, it was the cigarettes. Oh, I smoke too, just like a man,
Hmm.
and all of that. You see, it was
Right.
systematically put in place, and they break the family structure. But
Right.
we need to be aware of these things, and
Well,
move accordingly.
it's funny because in this age, and not to go too far left with the conversation, but in this age of Russian propaganda and Russian influence and all that stuff, it's like the original Soviet propaganda is exactly what you're talking about. It's like, no, we're going to infiltrate the institutions that make your country strong. And what's the strongest institution in any nation? It's the family. The family is the beginning of the nation. I always say family is the functional unit of community, and community is the functional unit of civilization. Break
Mhm,
apart the family and you destroy the civilization. So what happened, right? Like you say, we had back in the day, a man can work, his wife can stay home, and you got a house, you got a car, you can put your kids through school, all that stuff, right? And all of a sudden, now we're living in an era where women
mhm,
have to work too. And now, this idea, the idea of gender roles is like, there was a time when I don't think that conversation it was the same one that we're having today. Like,
mhm,
what are gender roles? Men did this and women did this because that was the more practical thing for them to do. Who is the most important person, arguably, in any society is the woman, the mother specifically. My opinion, the mother, because the mother is the first teacher, and the longer a child can learn from the mother and the grandparents, right? That's how you build a civilization, right?
mhm,
So
mhm.
that has been broken down. Just to speak to what you were saying.
Yeah, we've had that conversation before about in ancient cultures. It was the woman. It was the woman was the one that was there, holding these things together. Men were that leader. So this is one of the things that I pose to people. I usually ask men, when was the last time that you went out with a group of men and hunted for meat, killed it, dragged it home to the village, right? cut it up and handed it out, and we all ate together and all that, and no hand goes up. You see, we don't do that anymore. Everything is
Mm,
already packaged for us and all that. So now,
right,
where's that, aggression? Where is that, camaraderie with other men? Where is it? It's gone.
right,
It's
right,
gone. Now we're just silenced. You see, and then we have all of this thing inside, and then we act out. We drink booze, we do drugs, we promiscuous behavior, we carry on multiple
right,
relationships, we
right.
you know
So, and this goes to why brotherhood matters and why brotherhood is so important because, I like to quote back to Mali Doma Patrice Somé. A wonderful book is The Healing Wisdom of Africa. And it's a book about ritual and not just, oh, you do this ritual and that. No, it's about what ritual is and the transformative potential it has for the individual and the community. If there's an issue, you bring it to the community, and then we do a ritual, and then that issue is solved. And so,
Mm,
in the traditional and the indigenous sense, you have men's groups and you have women's groups. Now you have brotherhood and you have the sisterhood, or the sisterhood and the brotherhood, right? So now we see the sisterhood, and that's something that women have always been good at and have maintained since those times is the sisterhood. But the men, we don't necessarily have the brotherhood anymore, and it's a sacred brotherhood. And this is where the checks and balances come in. Like you said, hey man, I heard you were stepping out on your old lady. Like, bring it back in. We're gonna get you right, brother. You know what I'm saying? You got a family to take care of. You know what I mean? Oh,
mm,
you're depressed. Oh, okay. Let's come in here. Come, give your brother a hug. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see, when you and I see each other, we give each other a big hug. You know what I'm saying? You know how many brothers are uptight? They can't hug. You can't. You know what
yeah,
I mean?
you feel it, like when you get close, that you can feel it. They're like,
Right.
it's terrible.
Right. Yeah. So that,
Mhm.
like we need to get back to that. That's so necessary because that the sisterhood is how the women have been able to cultivate that safe space so that all the emotions can be expressed, all the conversations can be had for their personal development.
Mm.
Where's the brotherhood?
Right. Nicholas, Brooklyn, on July 11th at 6 p.m. This is what we're talking about right here. We're having a call to men to get together and share knowledge and support one another and open up the floor for brothers to speak and share
Mm,
their experience too. But you mentioned something very powerful too about those rituals, and life is just a set of rituals from the moment that you wake up in the
mm,
rising, to the time that you settle down and you rest your body in your temple. There's a bunch of rituals right in between there. And when I rise, there are some things that help me and tools that are very strong. And I wanted to mention some of them. But before I did want to mention about when men used to go out together and hunt for meat for the family, right? We have the hunters and the gatherers. Women
mm,
are the gatherers. We already know that they're the ones who gathered seeds, and the beads and those type of clothes making and those type of thing. And that's where they sat around and they communed and they spoke all
right,
day. But
right,
men, on the other hand, when they went out hunting, you can't talk because the thing that you're hunting, something out there is hunting you too. And if
right.
you make some noise, you don't eat or they come and get you,
That's
right?
right. Something
So,
might eat you.
but the thing is that Cam, when you bring back the meat to the village, that's when we sat around the fire and we received the counsel of men, of the
Mm,
elders, you see, and that's
mm,
the thing that they've taken away from our society. There's no more of that. We're just
mm.
stuck with be quiet and silent and don't
Right.
express yourself. And if you do, why are you being so angry?
And
So
I'm
stuff like
glad
that.
I'm glad you said that because a lot I notice a fair amount of women don't understand how to really interact with that type of energy. So it's like, oh, calm down, oh, lower your voice. Like you said, lower your voice. Why are you talking so loud? Why are you It's like, oh, because that's how I am. I'm not trying to puff my chest out and be, no,
Okay.
I'm a man. Like, this is
Mhm, mhm,
masculine energy. This is what it
mhm,
looks like.
mhm,
And
mhm,
men need to know that's okay. You don't
mhm,
need to dull your sword, because that's
mhm,
ultimately what men are being asked to do. Dull your sword, dumb yourself down,
mm,
like put yourself in a little box, in a box that makes us all comfortable. But it's like,
mhm,
how are you going to be a catalyst for change or for
mhm.
leadership if everybody is comfortable?
Right, right. And then there's that energy that we don't know how to express it properly either.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes men need guidance. I know I do, and I have for a
Mm-hmm.
long time.
Right, right,
But I don't have all the answers.
right.
And I also wanted to add that during the July 11th event at Nicholas Brooklyn at 6 p.m., you're not going to hear nothing new, not per se. No, this
Mm-hmm.
is old knowledge, man. This old.
Right.
Some guys, they're like, oh, I'm gonna go over there. Oh, he sound like that other guy. Yeah, that guy got it from another person too. You see, this is just knowledge that we're putting out there. So I wanted to get
Right.
back to those rituals, brother. Right.
Yes, sir.
So tell me, brother, when you rise, what does it look like for you, man? Like in that early time, because this is the quiet time, the time that's for you. How
Right.
does it look?
Well, so I'm on a busy schedule right now, and at least, at the very least, I'm taking time to, first off, I'm not interacting with my phone early in the morning. That's lastly, I'll go and put it on the charger. Uh, you know, Evacuate. I'll use the bathroom. You know what I mean? I'll take a shower, but I like to go and get on my calendar, my paper calendar, and I'll
Mm,
go through and I'll look at my schedule for the next weeks and months, and just even that gets my creative juices flowing, because it's like, oh, okay, how can I plan my work and my time? Looking at the calendar every day is a great way, in my opinion, to plan your success. So
mm,
even that, and catching it early in the rise, I'll meditate a little bit, especially like right when I wake up. I'll meditate. I'll kind of, if I had some dreams, I'll sit in the position that I was in and allow the information to come in, see what I can remember, see what I can glean from it. Sometimes I'll write things down. I'll do meditation. I'll say some prayers in the morning. I'll get out of bed, and then I'll go and start to, I make my smoothie, and these little things kind of help to keep my body regulated, keep my nervous system regulated, because at this point in my life, I understand the importance of nervous system regulation. And I deal with so many dysregulated people through my work. And if you're in Jersey, I'm in New York. So as we're traveling through this realm, we're dealing with all kind of dysregulated people. So it's like, okay, if I can be one of a few regulated people that even these other folks interact with throughout their day, then let it be that. But I have to be
mm.
at my center.
You should be. Yeah, we should. It's to navigate these waters and the storms, like you have to have some sort of anchor, and these are one of the things that we will be sharing with brothers, right?
Right, right.
It's not a military camp. We're not telling you go do this. We're saying, hey, this is what worked for me, so
Right.
maybe you should try it out, because when I rise in the morning, and I'm sure that most people can agree with me too, we usually don't get out of bed and go, man, I can't wait to get my teeth kicked in today.
Right, right,
I
right,
can't wait to just get slammed all over the place. No,
right.
we get up and we go, man, for at least the minimum, we'll go, man, I hope today's a good day. And I'm going to try to
Mm-hmm.
do this and that and such and such. But once you start getting these rituals, some of the things that you've said, for me, I have built this lifestyle where I'm running, right? I didn't just
Right.
wake up one day and go, I'm going to run every day. No, it has taken me time to build this lifestyle. And for me, running is moving meditation. That's
Mm-hmm.
what it is, So I go out, put a couple of miles in, and then I'll come back. I'll do some breath work and some meditation, even if it's like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or something
Right.
like that. And that helps to ground me. There's other things too, some other rituals, and
Mm-hmm.
like I'll drink 16 ounces of water with sea salt and a squeeze of lemon, to help alkaline my
Mm,
body
right.
because it's very acidic. We've been fasting all night, so in order to
Right.
alkaline your body, that helps. um,
I like that. I'm gonna start doing that as well.
yeah, definitely the water is super helpful, and
Hmm.
I think it's super powerful in order to help me to be a better man, to be a better person, to be a better father, to be a better husband, to be a better partner, better son, because that's what we're
Right.
talking about here. Men who rise, you see, I have risen a bit where I can get a better view of things. Everybody's
Right.
at a different point, at a different level. So here I am at a different level telling other brothers, hey man, the view is beautiful up here. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Just
Spectacular.
come, take a look. Yeah, just
Yeah.
try it, just come
Hmm.
up here. Here, let me help you. Let me bring you up a little bit. That's
Right.
all. Maybe 2 feet. That's
Right.
it. Just a little bit up. So when you take a look at the view, you be like, oh man, this is where it's at. It's
Right.
beautiful.
Right. Exactly. Another thing I do is when I generally don't eat until like, and this is just me, I generally don't eat until at least after 12 o'clock. 12. Sometimes I'll see it. Sometimes it's going on 2 o'clock before I'm eating, and that helps. I will drink my smoothie, but like no real solid food. And the smoothie has like a lot of seeds. It has berries and it has all kind of seeds in it, and that's where I pull my energy. And so just speaking to your point, when I do that, I'm able to really gauge like, okay, if I put something in my mouth, I put some food in my mouth, do I get tired? Oh, I ate this and my body feels physically tired now, but I didn't eat all day and I didn't feel physically tired. So
Mhm.
for me, it's a good way to really gauge what I'm putting in my body and if it's the best thing. And if I put something then in my body and it makes me feel tired, if I get a headache, you know what I mean? Because then my body, I notice my body is extra sensitive. So it's like,
Mm.
oh, do I get a headache? Do I get a stomach ache? Did I feel a shift in my body when I consume this thing? Okay, I don't need that thing in my body anymore, right?
Yeah.
So that is part of the ritual of the day.
For sure. I love that one too, because I'm on the same program too. It's
Hmm.
that intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
There's science behind it, and I do enjoy science. When there's proof there, man, I
Right.
read, because when I was a kid, that's what I wanted to be when I grow up, a scientist, and that's what I
Oh,
am.
I was gonna say, so you fulfilled that.
Exactly. I
Yeah.
am my own laboratory right here. I am
Right.
dissecting this temple, mind, body, soul. I'm looking at it deeply. I'm cutting it open, looking inside, see what worked for me. So the intermittent fasting, yeah, I don't eat till 12, 1. Sometimes,
Hmm.
brother, I don't eat till like 5, 6, or
Oh,
7. I'm good.
likewise,
Yeah.
likewise, all
Hmm.
day, and I'm like, oh, I have
Yeah.
all this energy.
Yeah.
Like this is
Yeah. It's great. Yeah. The
right.
mind, cognitive, everything
Everything,
straight, problem solving.
everything.
Yeah,
Right.
so these are some of the things that we're teaching there at Nicholas Brooklyn, or rather sharing with the brothers, with the community, you
Right.
know, that way you can help them to be better, to rise up, So,
Right. Right.
ah, man, we've been here. We've been talking for over 20 minutes or so, man. I was hoping to make this like a 10 or 15, but,
You
we
know
just
how
can't
we
help
go.
ourselves.
That's just warming up the mic is 10, 15 minutes.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it, man. So we'll jump on again. We'll make another one. Before the
Yeah.
time comes again, and share, inviting brothers. This is like the village horn has been blown. This is
Hmm.
come. Let's go gather as men around the fire. Let's share. Let's do it, man.
Yeah,
Let's
let's
do
come
it.
out, brothers. Seriously, come out, have this conversation because we need more viewpoints. And you know me, I always go back to the African ways because that's what I know and that's what I've learned over the many years. And one thing is the original democracy came out of Africa. And so, what does that mean? It means everybody did have a say. And they say, oh, that's why we can't all get together, get along, and get together now because we come from a culture that everybody had a say. Everybody's opinion mattered, and the consensus is what everybody went with. But even with that, and that goes into deeper things, but all that to say, so it's like we need the varying opinions. We need the different perspectives from different brothers as we go into
Mm.
these conversations, because that's what's going to make all of us better and all of us stronger. We're all part of a fabric and an ongoing story and an ongoing narrative. And if someone, like you said, if they're voices being suppressed, then we're missing out on a valuable input and a valuable thread that
Mm,
needs to be woven into this fabric that we're
yeah.
calling community.
I love that. I love it. I love it. I know you're big on those things, bro, and me too, man. I've
Hmm.
studied quite a bit, and like I said, we're not saying we have all the answers, but once you start looking back in history, one of the things I love to quote is on the ancient temples in Kemet. It said, "Know thyself."
Right,
Right? It was almost
right,
as if it was saying, "Listen, before you come in here and start asking any gods that you think are listening, right?
right,
Know thyself, bro."
right,
See? So
right,
that's what we're doing. July 11th, 6 p.m. from 6 to 10. Bring a brother, bring a friend, bring a father, bring a son, bring a cousin, nephew, anything, young, old, whatever.
right,
You know, this is
right.
it. We're
And
doing it.
and even the sisters can come out and listen to this conversation because I definitely know some sisters who they've told me they love to hear men talking. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? They say and they tell me, and this is I'm glad you even saying because they have told me over the years, hey Cam, we want to hear more men talking. We want to hear what you all have to say. So bring the sisters too. Or if you know a sister that has a son, a husband,
Right.
let
Definitely.
the
Because,
let
go ahead.
let the family come out. Let them
Yeah,
bring
for
them out.
sure. This one around, I'm not sure if the sisters will be there for the whole night because there is some privacy that needs to be between men. Sometimes,
Ooh,
often
okay.
men cannot say things in front of women because they don't want to feel weak and,
Right, right.
vulnerable. So
Mm-hmm.
they may have to step out of the room. I think Monique will be just about the only sister that will hold
Right,
it down there,
right.
but that's the vision that has been given to me. I've been asked to
Thank
do
you.
this particular event, this experience here. You see, and I don't
Yeah,
have to do it, but I hear the calling and I'm on assignment. So I'm responding to this thing that has been telling me, do it.
yeah.
So,
And thank you for that clarification too, brother, because that's
mhm.
powerful. And just like you said, I want to reiterate, you're right. And there are conversations that men want to have and may not feel comfortable having it in front of women.
That's what we're saying. Yeah. In
Mm-hmm.
fact, part of the vision is this ongoing narrative that we're having with men and then invite the women in.
There you go.
You see,
There you
then we'll
go.
have an event where they'll go, okay, let's go. Let's sit down. Let's face each other. And like, this is what I think.
I love it.
And then women
I
will be like,
love it.
well, I think that that's wrong, or I think that's absolutely correct. Where are the men that are, something like that? Yeah.
Ooh, this has been a long time coming, brother. I'm
M-
so excited for this
Me
conversation.
too, brother.
Yeah,
Me too. Let's do it. July
yeah.
11th, 6 p.m. and Nicholas, Brooklyn. Brother, could you give us the address there?
1396 Fulton Street, Brooklyn, New York.
That's it. 6 p.m. Let us know. Come through. Hit me up, brother Cam, as well. We'll
Hmm.
tell you all the details. If you have any questions, concerns, um, there's going to be a food vendor. I secured a powerful brother, man. Yeah,
Ooh.
it's alkaline food. So if you know anything about that, because we're
Hmm.
about health and wellness. Because great health is great wealth. Because if you
Right,
don't have your health, then you have nothing, bro.
right.
So we secured a powerful brother that's going to come through and provide the food. There's going to be music and conversations and all that good stuff, man. So come through, man.
Awesome.
Okay. Peace and love, brother.
All
Thank you for
right.
showing
Salute,
up.
brother.
I
Thank
see
you,
you,
brother,
King.
as always,
Peace.
man.
Peace.
Peace.